Hey everyone, Brandon here from GVG, and we're here to talk about Ocarina of Time and all the things that we want to see change in the upcoming remake for Switch 2. And I am joined by fellow Zelda superfan Daniel Alba.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to see you. I am indeed the Zelda fan. I've come prepared wearing the shirt that I can only be worn when we talk about Ocarina of Time. So I'm prepared, Brandon.
This is why we have to schedule things with Daniel in advance so he can properly prepare his wardrobe. And then there's me. I am wearing a black shirt.
Well, you're just back from work, so I understand for your situation.
That's fair. But we recently saw the reveal of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It was a short teaser. We just got a brief glimpse at what I presume is the opening cutscene, as well as a look at Link himself sleeping in his house at the beginning of the game. And it doesn't really tell us a whole lot.
It opens the door for just many more questions than answers. So I'm here with you to try and talk out what sort of things we can hopefully see in a remade version of Ocarina of Time and what they should change.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this on the Nintendo Direct win that followed, but I wanted to go a little bit more in depth because honestly, this is something I could talk about forever. But first, one of the things I want to throw out right away is I have talked extensively about how much I love fishing minigames in video games, but especially Zelda. And Ocarina of Time is the reason for that. I love the fishing hole. And they expanded upon that when they added it to Majora's Mask on 3DS. I want them to go even harder with the fishing in Ocarina Remake. I want it to be Twilight Princess level, where that fishing rod is in my inventory and I can take it with me anywhere where there's a body of water and start catching fish.
That's so funny. I had fishing on the very bottom of my list, and I should have known Brandon Miracle was going to bring up fishing at the very top of his. So, this is something.
How important it is.
Yeah, this is one of those things that they added to Ocarina of Time. They wanted to really pack this title with as many things as they could, from like mini games, from dungeon exploration to fishing. Well, one of the more elaborate mini games in the entire game is fishing, because you actually do get it as an equipable weapon. Quote unquote weapon, and there's like different lures you can get. There's different fishes you can find depending on what time period, I believe. Yeah, you get to do it both as a child and as an adult, which is super interesting because the fishes and the prizes change depending on which one you're doing.
Yep.
So you're wanting this to be an actual like item that you earn and you can just carry wherever you want into any body of water, right?
Yeah, I mean, it could be similar to how it is in Twilight Princess, where there's like two different types of fishing. There's the fishing with the rod that you get at the beginning of the game, which is very like rudimentary and basic. And then you have the fishing hole where you can use a reel and lure. I was thinking something like that, where the fishing hole is a more like elaborate experience, but I want there to be like a smaller fishing game that you can just kind of do wherever. Like, imagine just going anywhere on Lake Hylia and casting your rod and just seeing what you get. I think that would immerse me.
Yeah, there was so much you can do, so much that they changed and elaborated upon with Majora's Mask, because there were two fishing holes in that one. And one of the things I can imagine them changing is like the different times of day. There's different times of fish that appear on different times of day or certain days. There's an actual fish that appears only as the moon is falling and the timer is going down. It's just funny things like that they were very quirky with. And I imagine, something like time of day could definitely affect the kind of fish that you find in certain areas. That'd be so cool to be able to like catalog a whole fishing log that way for a different kind of side quest.
Give me like the Hylian loach, but like times 50. I've never caught a Hylian loach ever. Still to this day, because it's a really hard fish to catch. I don't think it's guaranteed to spawn in the fishing hole.
Don't you need like the sinking lure that you have to find, like roll around and search the perimeter, and then you find that sinking lure and then it shows up? Yeah, it's very, very like kind of a really hidden secret that some people didn't think was real for a little bit.
But there's other quirky stuff you can do there too. Like you can cast the rod at the the clerk's head and then grab his hat.
The hat right off.
And then you cast the hat off into the pond, and then it sinks to the bottom of the pond. And then when you're in the future as adult Link, he's not wearing his hat anymore.
Oh no. Yeah, that's so good. Like there's so many games where they have been enhanced by the fishing, as I'm sure you're aware. And this is the first Zelda that did fishing in a 3D space. I think it'd be criminal to not use what they've learned in other Zelda games and expand upon it now.
Yeah, it's the easy number one ask for me. It's not actually my number one, but it is something I want to see happen. But what about you?
I know it's number one in your heart. It's very close there for me too, but I'm glad we got that one out the way. For me, I mean, this is a really easy one to say. It's going to be like more narrative, and it's something that I have more faith in after seeing Star Fox. Like, I'm pretty sure like quite different teams are going to be working on both, but seeing how closely that they're releasing to each other, there's like that expectation for a lot more that I see in this game than in Ocarina now. And the way they've added more scenes, just flesh out more characters, I think that'd be really cool to just see more of the world, more of these characters. Like, give me more scenes with like even Saria or Mido in the forest. You know, they don't really ever talk to each other. They never interact with each other in the entire game. And you're supposed to assume that everyone's like, oh, they're buddies and friends in this one tiny forest with all these little kids. And yeah, just side stories, scenes that follow like Zelda and Zelda and Impa. Like, where do they go after they run out of the castle? Like, where are they headed? As they escape, like the burning of Kakariko Village. Another major one is Ganondorf. Like, when you open the door of time and you pull the sword, like, you don't actually see anything that happens. It's just Ganondorf in a white void, and he like claims the You're like, I want to see him claim the Triforce, and then it breaks into the three where he gets the Triforce of Power, and then it goes to the other two. Like, things like that we've only just kind of imagined, like James McCloud's prologue, but now visualized.
Yeah, I'd love to see especially more about Ganondorf. Even like when you first introduced to him, like the moment where like Zelda's looking through the window in the castle courtyard, and then she lets Link peer through, and he kind of like turns his head at Link, and Link goes, I want that to be a lot more impactful. Obviously there's only so much they could do with the animation on the N64, so Ganondorf doesn't emote. He just turns his head. I want to see like the sinister man underneath the guise of like him swearing fealty to the king. We kind of got to see that in Tears of the Kingdom a little bit, in a kind of recreated version of that moment. But I want Link and Ganondorf's first encounter to be way more of a powerful moment than it is in the original.
Yeah, that was one of the things, is that with these characters, there's only so much they can do with their facial features and animations, but now they have so much power to do so, to like have Ganondorf do like a very sincere bow to the king, and then he's like, you see him slyly smiling that no one else can see, and then he sees in the corner of his eye Link, and they turn, and there's like a zoom in, and yeah, there's so much they can do with cinematography now with that sort of thing, that I definitely feel that for sure.
And I think there's some more character interactions I'd like to see as well. You talked about Mido and Saria. What about the Great Deku Tree? We never see him interact with any of the children. Just Link, and just him talking to Navi at the beginning of the game. Like, we know that the children love him because he protects them, but they never interact. Like, I want to see the devastation on those children's faces when Link comes out of the Deku Tree at the beginning of the game and he dies.
Brandon wants to see more children crying in the Zelda game. Confirmed.
It's true. Let the kids cry.
Yeah, there's not really so much of like an emotional connection between these characters. Like, I guess myself, I kind of pictured it was a like an honorable thing to be summoned. Like, oh, you've been summoned to see the Great Deku Tree. Like, I'm assuming it's something that it doesn't happen too often. So it's like, oh, we're usually just kind of hanging out in the forest. But no, that does make more sense, because you see other games like the Koroks are all just having a grand old time with Big Daddy Deku Tree in the middle, and you don't see any of that with any other games. That's your Breath of the Wild too. That's the same thing.
I think it would help like make the death of the Great Deku Tree feel more impactful too. Like it happens so quickly at the beginning of the game. I mean, it's still impactful. Like you go inside the Great Deku Tree, you defeat Goma, you free him from Ganon's curse, but then he dies anyway. Like it's sad, but you know, we have so much more technology now. Like we can really lean into that. I'm not saying that they have to really drag it out and you know, get over like melodramatic with it, but I think there's a better balance that could be achieved.
Yeah, definitely. God, there's so many little things that we can. That's a whole video in itself, just talking about what we could add narratively. Because there's the whole like the dark history of Hyrule's past that you can delve into. That's the whole reason why the well exists and like the beneath the graveyard. Gosh,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that a lot of these little bits that we've only been able to imagine really get fleshed out, and we can like learn more from characters, more scenes. Like I want to feel devastated when I discover that soldier in the back, or before you go to the Temple of Time, that one that just dies on screen. Like, is he gonna be voiced? He's gonna say to Link in a dying voice, like, "Please go to the Temple of Time," and man, Link's gonna see someone die in front of him, man.
As like a 9-year-old or however old he is, 10. It's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of potential there, and I hope that they run with it. Like you said before, you know, it's not the same team that's working on Star Fox, but if Star Fox is anything to go by, there's a lot of untapped potential here. Another thing that I'd like to see, and this is kind of small in the grand scheme of things, but can Epona not control like butt? I thought the horse controls in the Wild Era games were pretty good. The horses, obviously, they kind of self-navigate to some degree. So like when you're, you know, shooting arrows and whatnot, you're not quite as vulnerable as you would be in like Ocarina of Time. Because when you go into arrow mode in the original Ocarina on N64, Epona just runs in whatever line she was running in, even if that means you're going right into a wall.
That girl just went on autopilot anytime you took your bow out. Yeah, and things like the quest where you have to get the big pose, like that is a nightmare because
God, yeah.
they will go in one direction from where you are, and if you're not already heading that way, it's just such a pain to do that. Like if they have it where Epona can kind of navigate on her own a bit, that would make that side quest a lot easier, and just, you know, horseback fighting in general. Like I think Epona's started to control better and better with every game, to the point where, like in Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, she has a natural, like realistic weight. I can't claim I don't do horse riding often, but it feels like with all the care they put into the animals and their behaviors in this game, like that's probably the best Zelda can probably achieve at this point with horseback riding, unless they want to be a little more fantastical with it. But no, I agree. I would like to see Epona be a lot more versatile and have more stuff to do because of it.
I loved it, Twilight Princess. There was such a focus on like jousting, especially like against King Bulblin, like on the Bridge of Eldin. You couldn't do that in Ocarina of Time. Link can't use his sword when he's riding on Epona, but I'd like to see that change as well. You know, the Hyrule Field is kind of a nothing burger in Ocarina of Time, which, you know, it's fine. That's just, you know, being big was the point, right? Back then, it wasn't so much here's this big thing with all these little things you can do. It's just we can make it big, so we did. But you know, if that's going to change, then I want like Epona to be part of that equation, and I think horseback combat would be an interesting way to do that, because you don't really get like Ganon's forces out in Hyrule Field. You know, when you're Child Link and it becomes nighttime, the Stalfos come out, or the Stal Children. But like, there's no threat from Ganon himself when you're out in the field, and I think that's a big opportunity they have here.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what was going to be my next topic, was Hyrule Field itself.
Go for it.
because that's I think the core of this game is going to remain the same. I think, like with the dungeons and with the smaller areas, but
Yeah.
Hyrule Field. Back in the day, when you first walk out there after exploring Kokiri Forest and the Deku Tree, you get this massive field opens up before you. And when you're playing games up in the year 1998 or way back then, like that field is huge. It is the biggest thing you've ever seen in your life, and there's so much to do, so much to explore, and it's all relative because now we have games like Breath of the Wild, which is just like that times 100
Mhm.
essentially. And so it doesn't need to be that big, obviously, and I would not want it to be huge, but it should be large enough to also accommodate using Epona more often. As an adult, it should be something that you should be able to explore a bit more freely with like the accessibility and the navigation options that you have with someone like Epona. There can still be like more events. There can be more stuff that can just litter around there. But the key points are still all in the same directions. Like you got Hyrule Castle up north. You've got your paths to Gerudo Valley and Zora's Domain. Lon Lon Ranch still can be in the middle, but be a bit larger. I would love to see Hyrule Field just greatly expanded upon.
Can we get rid of the gates in front of the entrance to Lake Hylia because they have no reason to be there? There is a ladder you can climb to get over it.
It's such a weird inconvenience. Like all it does is frame a single hidden grotto to bomb in the middle, and there's no other purpose. You could just remove the gates entirely, and nothing would be lost.
Yeah, and you can make that grotto more noticeable using other like visual language in the remake. Maybe there's like a patch of like flowers or something, and the center of it's empty. I'm glad you brought up grottos because that's something I need to yell about. The grottos in Ocarina of Time are bad. I don't like them. Most of them are exactly the exact same layout with a chest, a Sheikah stone, and like a puddle with fish in it. Can we have a little more variety? Like, I don't want like Breath of the Wild shrines or anything like that, but something that's at least a little bit more substantial. I replayed Twilight Princess recently, and those grottos are also bad. Let me just get that out of the way. But that game has caves, and those caves have like these basic like layouts and designs that they use. They just remix them for every cave. Something like that, I think, would be more interesting. I want to go into a grotto, a hole in the ground, and not know what's going to be on the other side before I go in it.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I think I started to feel that way, and maybe the team started to figure this out with Wind Waker, because like you go to an island, you go inside a hole that's in that island, and maybe it's like a bunch of shrubbery everywhere. Maybe it's just actually like a cave. Maybe it's a mini dungeon. Like you go to a couple of rooms, and there's a swarm of enemies to fight. Like something with variety like that. I can't imagine all these grottos are gonna look exactly the same and hold that much, be that faithful to the original, because that has a space to be a lot more creative with it because they're just outside of the main story and main field.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean there shouldn't be grottos that don't necessarily have anything in them. Like there's one, I don't remember if it's a grotto or if it's a grave, where inside of it's just a single re-dead in a room. And I don't think there's like any reward. You just kill him and nothing happens.
Oh man.
You can keep stuff like that. Like that's fine. But mix in some actual reason to discover in there.
Yeah, the most interesting one, well, you mentioned graves, is like you pull one of the graves out, there's like a re-dead, and there's a chest, and if you blow up the wall, there's like a fairy fountain behind it. Like those are fun little things to find. Like even if it's as simple as that, honestly, I wouldn't be complaining if it was something where I at least don't expect every time I go into the grotto, like here's another puddle with a chest and 20 rubies.
Oh, this grotto has a cow in it. I like
Who
though
put
that
this cow here?
At least that grotto, like near Death Mountain, you can hear the cow from the outside, and that's like your hint that there's a grotto there. So they were doing a little bit of that in the original, it's just not nearly enough. Well, what else would you like to see changed?
Let's see. I think I would love to see more events that happened in conjunction with time travel. And I mean,
Yeah.
the easiest thing I can probably think of to say is like with Chrono Trigger, where you do something in one time period and it actually actively affects another time period. And it can be simplified here because there's only two time periods. And so there's not really anything that we see that it really affects that, aside from like the big story things that happen, obviously, like with Hyrule Castle Town. You mentioned the hat with the fishing man. That's like a minor thing where he doesn't have it anymore. Things like the plants that you put down, like they'll grow in 7 years so that adult Link can ride them to get certain items. But those are so minor. Like, I would love some more side quests that actually actually you see the effects of it if you were to do them as a child and then see the results as adult Link. Like sometimes you have to complete them as a child and you see the result when you're an adult, or you have to you need those 7 years to finish a side quest as an adult. There's a lot of potential for that sort of thing. And I was always sad that it didn't really lean in enough to the time travel aspect for Ocarina.
Yeah, it doesn't really start mattering until like the Shadow Temple, where you go back in time, you learn there's the Song of Storms paradox, which is probably the coolest like bit of time travel stuff in the game. And then it's quite a bit heavier in like the Spirit Temple. But yeah, they don't lean into it nearly enough. I think what they do is cool, but I'd love to see more. Like the Big Goron sword, for instance. Why not start that quest as a child?
Yeah, it takes him 7 years to master the craft of making the perfect knife that doesn't break.
Like there could be, maybe there's a trade item too that you get in the past and someone needs it in the future. So you have to bring that with you through time so that whoever needs it can get it. I think that there's definitely some potential there. Here's a thought. So my next one was going to be something I've said before, and I think is largely something everyone wants. I want to unfreeze Zora's domain.
Oh my god, please.
What if they make that a travel back in time kind of side quest? Maybe there's some kind of thing that Link needs to grab from the past to unfreeze it in the future. I think it'd be neat if after you beat the Water Temple, the Zora's domain doesn't unfreeze, and that there's some other element after the fact that you can do that will unfreeze Zora's domain. Like, make it a new part of the quest.
Maybe there's some... Yeah, I guess there would have to be... That would take some thinking, but I'm like, what would we need as a child, now that we have this knowledge as an adult, to grab and bring it into the future? So now you can melt this and finally... like unfreeze all the Zora that are apparently still underneath there, that just stay there as Link goes and does the rest of his journey, except for the king.
Like, what if you go to Death Mountain and there's a Goron there who has this tiny little campfire, and he's like, I'm trying to make fire and it's not very hot. Can you help me make fire? And you help him make this tiny little flame. And then 7 years in the future, it's this giant fixture of Death Mountain is this giant flame, and you can take a little piece of that with you and unfreeze Zora's domain.
That's a lot more interesting than my idea, where like we have a Goron carry, or Gorons carry like a massive heated rock. I guess this kind of sounds like something from Twilight Princess, where they use that to melt Zora's domain that froze in that game too.
Yeah. You could do that, honestly. Like, do the exact same thing as Twilight Princess.
I don't care. I just want to unfreeze the Zora, please.
I want to save them. They have suffered for long enough. In addition to stuff like unfreezing Zora's domain, I think it would be interesting if there was more lasting effects of Ganondorf on the world. Like when you exit the Temple of Time, when you first become an adult and you see Castletown ravaged. Like, I want to see that kind of thing happen to other places. Like Kakariko Village, for example. When you go there before the Shadow Temple, it's on fire. It is burning. But after that cutscene, it's just fine.
Yeah, in fact, as an adult, it's even more built and put together because they finished the little shooting gallery. So it's like, I mean, there's so many places that you can add a bit more like wear and tear that they got ravaged by monsters from Ganondorf. Like I kind of expected Lon Lon Ranch to be a little bit more messed up, considering it's just in the middle of Hyrule Field where all these monsters could be. And
Yeah.
look,
You could play with that a little bit too. Like maybe because Ingo takes over Lon Lon Ranch because of Ganondorf. What if he just lets the ranch get really run down and nasty? And then you can see it recover after you've like rescued Epona and freed Ingo of his Ganondorf disease.
Oh no, I'm gonna feel even worse for Malin because she has to live in this dinged up, dirty barn that no one wants to maintain anymore because also Talon isn't there either. Oh god. But no, that would do a lot more for storytelling, like visual storytelling. You don't have to like explain every little thing, but just show that there's a lot of wear and tear here, that there's just the ravages of Ganondorf's effect just aren't felt quite enough, and they pretty much put all of it in the castle town but nowhere else.
Yeah, think of Kokiri Forest. It's one of the first places you visit as adult Link, and it is different. Like the Kokiri children are missing, and well, it's because you're an adult technically. You can still find a few of them, like in the Lost Woods, but it's ravaged by monsters. Like there are monsters there, but the forest itself just seems fine. I want to see some damage. Break a tree.
Make some of these Kokiri homeless, damn it. Brandon just really wants to see these Kokiri suffer.
More crying children in my Zelda games. The children aren't crying enough.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think just more elements like that like would make Ganondorf's presence on the world feel more impressive. It was already impressive for the time. Like coming out to the ravaged castle town was already a shock. But do it more.
Yeah, you have so much power to really just give us and sell the idea that this is a world that's been torn apart by this evil man. So I'm hoping to see it. Okay, so this is a personal Daniel thing that he wants to see happen. It probably won't happen. An expanded use of masks. When that, nice. I mean, as a child, the only mask that actually does anything is the Mask of Truth, in which when you wear it, you talk to gossip stones and they'll tell you fun little tidbits. Like, I think there's one in the world near the Hyrule Castle that tells you that Zelda's a bit of a tomboy, which I thought was really funny. And we don't get anything like that for any of the other masks. So, like for the bunny hood, that one's obvious. You can make it so that young Link can run faster to kind of keep pace, because adult Link has Epona to use as a movement option, and adult Link can't use any of these masks. It has to kind of differentiate a bit more. There's like the spooky mask that maybe enemies like, so there are more enemies that won't attack you, kind of like when you have the Gibdo mask in Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
So that you can kind of sneak around and not have to worry about Re-Dead going after you. Maybe you can talk to some animals with the Keaton mask. And kind of get little hints for secrets here and there. Maybe they know secrets that a normal person wouldn't know or see, so that they can kind of guide you to get little hidden stuff.
You can already talk to cows. There's precedence.
Yeah, you have to. That's when you play Epona's song, right? And you get the milk.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, animals in this world, they do indeed speak, like the frogs as well. But those ones you can just kind of play. It's always related to music in that case. But yeah, let me talk to Cuckoos and they'll tell me a secret here or two. That'd be really funny.
I want to talk to my horse. How you feeling, Epona? What's going on these days?
We're doing the Twilight Princess again.
Exactly. I would love that. I want to see that go even further, I think. You lose access to so many items when you go from young Link to adult Link. Like most of your Deku items no longer work. The boomerang that you just got 10 minutes ago, you can't use anymore. I'd love to see some of those items carry forward and have use as adult Link in some way. Stuff like the slingshot, I get. Like adult Link gets the hero's bow. That's his version of the slingshot. But he doesn't really have a boomerang. I mean, the hook shot maybe, but still. But I wanted to jump onto the mask thing. Adult Link doesn't get to wear masks in Ocarina of Time. In fact, the whole Happy Mask Salesman, is he even in the future timeline anywhere?
He's gone. I never see him anywhere as the adult timeline. He went to Termina in that time, you know?
He's hanging out in Termina, and he's in the wrong timeline to be in Termina.
Oh
no. But yeah, I'd love it if the Happy Mask Salesman appeared somewhere in the adult timeline and that quest continued. And you got more masks that had other unique functions, or you could use it as a lead-in to Majora's Mask. Maybe you learn more about the Happy Mask Salesman in the future. That makes his appearance in Majora's Mask in the child timeline hit a little harder.
Oh man, Brandon found me out. This is all just a ploy for them to hurry up and just use this formula and this style and design to quickly make a Majora's Mask remake in the same way they did the first time.
God, there's a lot of potential there. I guess another thing, and I don't know if I want this. Actually, I want your opinion. Do you want this game, this remake, to make allusions to the other games more directly?
Like, I would question in what way, because I feel like the only ones you can really reference that would make sense in a way would be like Skyward Sword and Minish Cap, because those do take place before.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't really make sense to have like, oh, here's a Wind Waker reference. Like Breath of the Wild goes crazy with all that because it's like later after everything has already happened. But I think I want to keep it to just like games that make sense in this timeline that they could reference.
So you wouldn't want to see any like future connections to like Wind Waker or Twilight Princess? Where's Ordon?
Where did that show up? I don't know. That's hard to say, because like that'd be fun if they did that. Maybe they'll do it in like a cheeky little like flavor text sort of thing that like the fans will know if they hear it or see it. But no, the things like will the sword make the little Fi sound effect at some point?
I kind of want that to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like you can get away with that one.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man. That's the stuff that I get excited about.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool if you hear about a nearby forest town of Ordon or the Faron Woods. I think it would be cool to plant those seeds. Connecting the games a little bit more. Like, obviously they connect in reverse. Like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess do not hide that they are sequels to Ocarina of Time. They're very forward about that, actually. People who are like, there's no such thing as a timeline. I'm like, have you played the games? There's always been a timeline.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like, this is, if you're going to put references to other games, I guess this is the one to do it because of the split.
Yeah.
So I guess I was thinking more of this for the sake of just having a reference, but for establishing locations and things like that, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I always found it weird that in Twilight Princess, Link is from Ordon Village, which isn't like part of Hyrule proper. He's a descendant of the Hero of Time, but he no longer lives in Hyrule, which I guess makes sense because Link does leave Hyrule, in Majora's Mask. Maybe that's why. This is what I need answered.
This is what's going to happen. We're going to learn that Malon and Talon's last name is Ordon, and in the future, they establish a little farming village.
They find goats.
The discovery of goat cheese. It's real.
I would love to see stuff like that. I want to be careful. I don't want them to go like too hard or overbearing. Like, one of the things I appreciated about Breath of the Wild is there's the cutscene where Zelda is anointing Link as her knight, and she mentions like Twilight and the skies just in passing in her speech to Link. or in the ceremony, and I thought that was neat. Like, hey, we acknowledge that these things have happened, but we're not going to go any deeper than that.
Hmm. Yeah, man. There's so much they can do with this. I'm just spinning ideas in my head as we're talking about it because like I thought I had a lot of ideas for this, but now you're birthing a lot more in my brain that I could think about and like, man.
That's why we're going to have this discussion 7 more times before the game comes out. One for every year that
For
Link's
every
stuck in the
year.
Sacred Realm.
Oh my god.
Well,
Oh,
finish us
jeez.
out with one more, Daniel.
I'll give you one more. Well, there's a really small one, and then there's a bigger one. So I'll give you the bigger one, and we'll just kind of do the little one later.
Okay.
Originally, I believe the original idea was to have it so that the medallions that Link earns do grant him a power,
Yes.
and you see this hinted at throughout the game. Like I think the biggest one is like I think the fire medallion was supposed to be the equivalent of Din's fire because when you go to open the door to the Shadow Temple, there's all those torches in a circle. And if you look at your feet, it has the fire medallion symbol, which
Mhm.
shouldn't make any sense because, like, what does that have to do? I guess that's a hint to use fire, of course, but I think that was a leftover asset to like key you in to use the medallion here to cause that fire because you don't really use that for puzzles anywhere else. And then like I guess you can color code them. The forest medallion would be Forora's wind. The water medallion would be Nehru's love for defense. Something like, oh gosh, maybe the spirit temple would have given you strength because you kind of just randomly get the golden gauntlets in Ganon's tower. So maybe that was something that would give you power instead.
Oh, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, I could see that being the case. The Spirit Temple, that's also the dungeon that utilizes like time travel the most. I
Mhm.
wonder if it could be interesting if Link would be able to like time travel from wherever he is. Uh, I
That'd
know
be
putting the
crazy.
Master Sword in the pedestal is like part of why that works, so maybe not. But it's an interesting idea. I'd love to see that explored. Um, and there's other like remnants of it in the game as well. Like every time you get a medallion, they say that they're adding their power to yours. And as a kid, I was like,
Mhm.
this means nothing to me. Nothing about me has changed.
Yeah, just little bits and pieces here and there that show like, oh yeah, this was meant to be a thing originally. And tying to that real quick, what would you think if they added an actual like light temple for the light medallion? And because I always thought that it'd be cool if that's how you get the light arrows. Like that's the actual last dungeon you do after the spirit temple, because then
Hmm.
you would earn the light. I mean, Zelda's kind of canonically linked to the light arrows at this point, anyways. But it would be cool if there was like a more, you know, story reason connected to the sages, the other sages, like Rauru, because now Rauru is an important name in the Zelda lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah, I think that would be great. We know that there's a temple in there or like a proper dungeon because of Twilight Princess. You go back in time into the Temple of Time. It's the same Temple of Time from Ocarina, but you go beyond the stained glass windows and there's an entire other part of the building in there. Um, yeah, I think that would be sick. I think getting the light arrows in a more like impactful way would also like benefit the story. 'Cause they are gifted to you by Zelda before she is randomly captured by Ganondorf off screen. Well, he's off screen, she's on screen. It's a weird scene. So maybe that's a remnant. Maybe there was more that was meant to be there. Um, I want it could take place in the Sacred Realm even. Like we're only ever there in cutscenes. You know, you're never in the Sacred Realm like when you can control Link. Maybe that's where the rest of the Temple of Time is.
Oh
Inside.
man, the sacred temple. There you go.
Ah, now we're cooking with gas. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I hope they do that. How would you feel if Ocarina of Time had no loading zones?
That would be amazing because now I know we have the power to do so with something like the Switch 2, and to just seamlessly go into doors and houses in Breath of the Wild blew my mind, and it still blows my mind.
Imagine like the interiors of some of those buildings don't really match the way they looked in Ocarina of Time. But if they managed to do that somehow, where like you go inside a tiny house and it's massive on the inside with no loading zone, that'd actually be kind of sick.
Yeah. Oh my God. They can play with that so much. I would love it. It would be so cool if like it was the Lost Woods and you're going through it, right? But the moment you go through the wrong one, you just see Kokiri Forest instantly show up again, and the music just changes immediately back to the forest theme, and you just go back inside again. Like you can still have the little silhouette or the little shadow. You can't really see what's coming next, but man, I'm curious what they're gonna do with it. Yeah, it just shows up right away. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Some people might think that's blasphemy, or they're going too close to Breath of the Wild. I don't really see it that way. I feel like the way I interpret the world entirely would be different. Like when you're going down a corridor, which is traditionally a loading zone, and it's suddenly not anymore. Like think the stairs up to Kakariko Village. It's always been weird to me that it was stairs in the first place to go up a mountain, but like you turn that corner and then you're at the gate to Kakariko Village. That's the way it's supposed to feel. Imagine if that's how it was.
Yeah, honestly, going back to do a few recordings, like it does feel odd that you see it right in front of you in some cases, and you have to pass through a loading zone, which I mean, we're super spoiled by these games now, but it just makes more contextual sense to just be there now instead of having to wait for loading times.
Yeah, I think of like Hyrule Castletown. As a child, you see the gate go up, and then you can't get in unless you're standing on the gate as it lifts up, and now you're inside at nighttime. That always felt a little janky to me. Like, that's a weird way to do that. You could also go to Hyrule Castle and let time pass over there. But what if there was a way to get past the gate because there's no loading zone? I think that would be really cool.
I would love that.
Imagine the moment when you get Epona and you jump over the fence and it's seamless. You just jump over and you're in Hyrule Field.
Oh man. Yeah. That's just utilizing the technology that they have to the maximum, I think. And I'm just very much curious how they're going to utilize that. Like there's definitely some places where they would load it. Like if you go inside Jabu Jabu's belly, I expect that to be its own place. God, that place is going to look nasty, isn't it, Brandon? It's going to be
gross.
It's going to be wet and squishy, and I'm not going to like it.
Moist.
No.
Link's going to roll, and then he's going to have like saliva all over him.
Oh no. But yeah, that's like one of the places where I imagine it would just do its own loading zone because you're inside this big dungeon, inside this massive fish. Or just make Jabu Jabu even more big. Just make him huge.
He is really that large. The inside of him, there's just that much. I mean, he has his own like sanctuary, his own pond. Just make it bigger.
Just make everything bigger. Not everything. I want some things to be still... That still helps with the pacing, to have everything be not huge. And the game has a very excellent pace. I don't want them to lose that for just the sake of making things huger. Hyrule Field is the main thing for me, I think. But you can put so much in between there that I think it justifies it.
Along with the loading, like, I think it'd be nice if you could ride Epona in more places. Because if there's not going to be a loading zone, it's going to be really weird when Link is forcibly having to get off of his horse. Like, I can't ride Epona into the Lost Woods for some reason.
In the Kakariko Village? Like, it's right there.
Yeah.
Well, Epona can't go on stairs. Oops.
That would definitely be the reason, wouldn't it? Anything else before we wrap up here?
One more thing. So, we're going to have an expanded world, hypothetically, if we ideally get what we want from all this we discussed. How many gold Skulltulas will they add into the world by doing so?
Oh no.
And will there be a proper tracker this time? Because, oh my god, keeping track of the ones later on is a nightmare because you just don't know. There's no counters, there's no indication, there's nothing for 100.
one of the cursed like dudes inside the House of Skulltula should be like, I can sense more Skulltula tokens in this place, and then you go there. There's a way they can do that, please. I never did it as a kid. That's the only part of Ocarina I've never 100%ed because I just can't be bothered.
I did it once in a very specific way, just by having a guidebook with me, because my God, it's too hard otherwise. Like if you miss one in a dungeon, because there's always like a few in a dungeon, forget it, man. Finding those again, it's just kind of a pain.
Some of them also require the Scarecrow song, don't they?
Yeah, the Scarecrow song, to have all the bean plants planted. Some of them go in a very specific place that have them, like one above a treehouse in the sky, not in the sky, above a treehouse. There's like a ledge on the wall in Kokiri Forest. There's a lot of obscure places to hide these things.
Yeah, that definitely could be handled better. I think it'd be nice if the rewards were more interesting too. One of the rewards could be just like a tracker. Like once you've gotten so many, now we'll show you on various parts of the map how many are in each region or whatever.
Yeah.
There's the Stone of Agony. That's probably gone.
It's true. But I want it to look exactly like a Rumble Pack in the year 2026.
What if you go in the House of Skulltula and there is just like a decrepit old Rumble Pack Stone of Agony just like shoved in a corner somewhere? It's like in Triforce Heroes where you find the fourth Link dead in the overworld.
Oh my God. That's terrible.
I don't see a reason to bring back the Stone of Agony, especially if they rework the grottos like we're kind of hoping that they do to some degree. What do you replace that with?
It's gonna be a Joy-Con instead, and it's gonna vibrate when you're near something.
The Stone of Joy.
The opposite of agony.
We found it.
We've got character development for a rock. Congratulations, everyone.
Oh my God, that would actually be really funny. Please do that. I'm begging you. That man, I'm gonna be disappointed if that doesn't happen now. That writes itself. It's too good.
Oh.
I want the final reward for the Skulltula quests to be a little more interesting too. Not just a big rupee. Do you like big rupee?
Have all the rupees you want in your tiny wallet. They better make your wallet not hold 500. They're like 1,000, 5,000, like in some games instead.
Make the starting amount not 200.
It's 99.
Oh, it is 99. You're right. Yeah, let's not do that.
It's a little baby child's wallet. Not even 3 digits. We can't afford it, literally.
In Twilight Princess HD, they doubled the starting wallet size. They knew it was a problem. So let's fix that. I mentioned this in the Win episode, but I'm going to tie it into this Skulltula quest. I want Link to have outfits that he can wear beyond just the 3 tunic types. Similar to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Let me dress Link up in all kinds of different fashion and outfits. One way to get me to do the Skulltula quest is if the final reward is an outfit. I will go to the ends of the earth for fashion.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's it's just so common in Zelda now. Like even in Echoes of Wisdom, even Zelda herself can switch costumes, and if you have certain amiibo, you can just have her dressed like Link in the red tunic. Maybe there will be tunic amiibo locked costumes in some way or form.
Certainly possible.
But it makes sense because, like, I don't know, you see Link having a clearly different outfits, and I'm wondering what the final one will look like, and if they'll perhaps reference the original one in some way or form. It'd be a shame if they didn't.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild also have like all of the other like mainline Link outfits. I think I don't want all of them necessarily, but if you throw in a couple of those as well, I think that would be cool. Like, I'm a big fan of the Twilight Princess look. I always have been. I love the chainmail. If the chainmail's not in Link's basic Ocarina tunic, it would be cool to have that as a unlockable outfit.
Yeah, Absolutely. Hidden one. Would we get like a hidden Breath of the Wild outfit out there somewhere? I feel like it'd be crazy if they didn't do something like that.
Like the champion's tunic.
Yeah.
We do the reverse of Breath of the
It's the
Wild.
reverse now.
You 100% Ocarina of Time and you get the champion's tunic.
That'd be amazing. I don't know. You 100% Age of Calamity and you get the original Hyrule Warriors outfit with the scarf.
Put the scarf in the game. That'd be cool.
Yeah, just give him a scarf. Give the boy a scarf.
He's cold. It's cold in Swords Domain. Anything else?
I think that's pretty much it, honestly. Like I forgot to tie in like with side quests, just have a side quest tracker like you do in more modern Zelda games. That'd be nice to have more side quests, more things to track. Like whatever the heck we're doing next for the Big Oron Sword quest, because that's a big old fetch quest trade-off.
Like a bomber's notebook almost.
Yeah. You know what? Just do a bomber's notebook. Just make Majora's Mask already. Just do that right now.
Daniel wants to skip this entire remake and go to the next one.
I'm just greedy. No, I'm super happy that this game's being remade, and I'm so excited to see more of it whenever that does happen.
Yeah, so am I. If we got Majora's Mask 2, I'd be a really happy guy. Just gonna throw that out there. Oh, put in the Master Quest. Just let's have that.
Oh, right. Yeah. I played that on the GameCube so long ago, and it's the version that doesn't flip the world, but it remixes all the dungeons.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it probably would just be the 3DS version of it. Yeah, put that in, because
you can leave flipping the world at home. I don't want that.
It hurts my brain, and it makes Link right-handed, which is not supposed to be the Hero of Time's way.
Yeah, that's illegal. I'm gonna have to put a stop to that. But thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you want to see in the Ocarina remake in the comments below. This is something we could, like I said, talk about for basically forever. This is one of my very favorite games, probably the most important game to me ever. So I have a lot of feelings about this. I'm so excited. If you want to keep up with what we're doing, make sure you subscribe to our Patreon for just $1 a month. You can join us, hang out in our Discord, watch discussions like these when they're being recorded, among other things. But until then, keep the games good and the vibes greater. Bye now.
Till we meet again.
I didn't mess up the outro, Daniel.
You did one try.
Yeah.
First try.
It didn't take me 6 attempts.